Welcome, boys and girls, to another video lesson. This one is titled Greece, Oh Mountains of Greece. Make sure you have the paper to take notes with. Look at that page turner. Greece in the world. So if you look at this map, we are in the USA, right here on the left. And if you're looking for Greece, you look at Africa, just go up, and you can see it right there. If you zoom in on a map, you'll see the Mediterranean world. This is the Mediterranean Sea going across here, and Greece is right here. So it's to the right of Italy, to the left of Asia Minor. Where the Hebrews were, remember the Hebrews? There would be over here. You zoom in even more, you get a map here of ancient Greece. This is Greece here, Peloponnesia, Delphi, that's going to be an important city later on, as is going to be Athens right here. And Crete is going to be an important island because that is where Greek civilization started. Have you ever heard of Troy? That would be over here, which says Ilium. All right, our learning objective. Explain how the ancient people of Greece were affected. Oops, get back over there. We're affected by its physical geography. Remember, you can pause the video anytime, rewind, fast forward. No, don't fast forward. Summary questions, write these down. What is a peninsula? Peninsula. Number 2, how did the mountains affect the early people of Greece? Besides, giving them a nice view. Oh, look at those pretty mountains. Number 3, how did the seas affect the early people of Greece? Notice we didn't say oceans because Greece was not by an ocean. It was by the Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. Building background. So yeah, physical geography we know has to do with things like mountains, rivers, lakes, and deserts. It's not about countries. When we talk about physical geography, it's not about countries. It's about the physical things. Mountains, rivers, lakes, deserts. Let's pretend you live on a rocky coast of a bright blue sea. Imagining things. Across the water you can see dozens of islands and points of land jutting out into the sea. Rugged mountains rise steeply. Rugged means hard to walk on or tough terrain. Steeply behind your village. That means it's high up, kind of. I think that's what it means. Although it does not seem like the easiest place in the world to live, Greece was home to some of the ancient world's greatest civilizations. That is a claim, right? That's an opinion. World's greatest civilizations. All right, the CFU. Don't do what is physical geography. Just write down one physical geographical feature of Greece. So look back in the text if you must. Concept development. The Greeks lived on rocky mountainous land. Mountainous means a lot of mountains surrounded by water. So it was a peninsula, right? Surrounded by water. The mainland of Greece is a peninsula, an area of land that is surrounded on 3 sides by water. There's the definition right there of a peninsula. If it's surrounded on all sides, it's not a peninsula, it's an island, right? If it's surrounded on 2 sides, I don't know what the heck that is. The land and sea intertwine like your hand and fingers in a bowl of water. Intertwine. Yeah, try putting your hands together with your fingers like together. That's like you're intertwining. In addition, there are many islands. Yes, there's a ton of islands. CFU, what is a peninsula? We gave you that definition in the text. If you forgot, look back in the text. It's all good. Nobody's gonna be mad at you. Oh, continued. Wow. Okay, yeah, there's 3 paragraphs of this stuff. Okay. Because mountains cover much of Greece, starting a sentence with because. There are few flat areas for farmland. That's true. Remember we said it was mountainous and rugged. So farmland is good if it's flat, usually. People settled in those flat areas along the coast and in river valleys. River valley, it means there's a river running through your valley. They lived in villages and towns separated by mountains and seas. The mountains made travel across land difficult. Why? Why did mountains make travel across land difficult? Are we just supposed to believe that? Well, I mean, back then, how do you get over a mountain? You have to walk, and they're rugged and they're steep. It's a big climb. So usually people are not going to want to go to the other side of a mountain. So they just stayed on one side. And the other people on the other side of the mountain stayed on their side. So that's how they were isolated from one another. Isolated, that means separate, right? When somebody is isolated, they're separated from the group or from somebody else or whatever. So as a result of this isolation, there was not much contact between towns. And people created their own governments and ways of life. All right, make sure you answer the question, what were the effects the mountains had on the people? And you know what, if you don't have to write down the answer, you can highlight or underline the answer in the text, because these are like easy questions. It's in the text. They're not like why or how questions. Those you do need to write down, but this one you could just underline or highlight. Turn the page. Since travel on land across the mountains was difficult, as we already established, people were lazy. No, I'm just kidding. The early Greeks turned to the seas. Yeah, they're like, hey, well, let's not cross that mountain, but hey, let's build boats and use the seas. So they used the sea. They used it as a source of food, right? Fishing. And as a way of trading with other communities. So instead of traveling with your goods on land from one place to another, trying to climb a mountain and you're taking pottery with you or all kinds of stuff, So it's just easier. Put it on a boat, boom, done. They became great shipbuilders as a result, and sailors, and traveled the seas looking for sources of food and other products they needed. They also exchanged ideas with other cultures. So they were able to get to other places by crossing the sea using boats. All right, answer this question. What were the effects the seas had on the early Greeks? So there is at least a couple of those in there. Find them. You can probably just underline them. And that is the last part of that. So you're going to move on to skill development after that, and that's on your own. But let me just show you real quick. This is a typical ship of of the Greek civilization. You can see it's using oars to power, so people would, row the oars, and also wind, the sails for wind. And here's another one, different view. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So remember, you'll do skill development, list the effects of mountains and seas, and then on the next page, you need to do answer the summary questions, obviously, and then do the independent practice. All right, thank you for watching. Goodbye.